I'm trying to figure out why. OBS is acting like I'm not streaming what I'm currently streaming right now, and it's driving me bonkers. I can't figure out why. It's showing me the last stream we did. It almost makes me feel like I need to start OBS up again, which would make me really sad. Daniel, I see that you are here. Thank you guys for that. I wish I could have enjoyed it more, but I was having OBS frustrations. It
happens.
Hi, Daniel. If you can help me feel better about this, I'd really appreciate it. If you can confirm that we're actually streaming right now, because my setup is kind of making it look like we're not. And if you can hear me, I think you can. I do see signal. This has never happened before, so that's really weird. It's acting like it says I'm streaming, it says I'm live, I see the chat. I know this is real. But the normal things that I use to be like my gauge of what's going on. Oh, finally. Okay, it just reset. Thank you all for your patience with me. Thank you, DWOJR. Welcome back to the stream. That's Gus's pet name for you. We have a very special stream today because we have another synth friend on. It turns out our idea to make friends with people was a good idea, and everyone liked it, so we're doing it again. So that's what today's stream is. It's
our
just chatting hang
is
stream.
To be friends.
Yeah. It's basically a game show to see.
With Monsoir
Will you be our
Rayonism.
friend? So we're going to bring him in, and so we can all hang out together. Now that I know for sure that everything's working. I always want to make sure, and I guess I'm a little rusty today. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to shake it loose.
You're fine.
Twirrs! Yes. Yes. I love when something crazy we do gets reflected back with positivity. Thank you. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to bring our friend in here, and I think all I have to do is go like this. Nope. There we go. That was the final step I needed to do. I had been tweaking it. And now we should all be able to hear and see our friend Matt, whose artist name we know of is Rayonism. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
We are screaming from the void directly into each other's screens.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that everyone can hear everybody. So chat, help us out. Let us know. Make sure that everything's coming through the signals are coming through.
Is it
Before we get into anything like super entertaining and juicy, we want to make sure. The number of times I've gone on a rant and then everyone's like, we can't hear you.
Right.
I'm sure I've said something so eloquent. Sweet. So happy Thursday. We're back again. We did it. We're still here. The world has not burned to a crisp.
somehow?
We can still stream. We still have internet. We still have drinking water. At least we do. Yeah. So
Keeping it light.
Keeping it light right out the gate, as you can tell. Sweet. Thank you, DWOGR. I don't know, Matt, if you can see also simultaneously the Twitch stream so that you can see the chat.
Let me see if
that can be fun. That can be fun.
Yeah, because you know, you want to know when people talk shit about you.
Yes, definitely. Just keep up with the.
Mostly, it's just if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense, it's probably because I'm reacting to the chat. So if you're watching it, it'll make a little bit more sense.
Totally. Okay.
Totally jealous of Dwarger.
At the beach, sending us all these tropical emojis.
What beach? Like what area? At least?
Yeah, we need to know all the deets.
What continent? What
Paint
coast?
us a picture.
What coast of the continent?
So.
Oh wow! Look at those. That's fun.
Yes. Okay, you're caught up now. That's awesome.
Yes.
What you drinking there, man?
I forget. What do you call a like squirt and tequila? What's that called?
Squaquila?
No, yeah, right. Yeah, something like that. There's some name for it, but I put actually mezcal. So it's mezcal. And
oh my gosh, were you reading my thoughts yesterday? Because we were Googling like recipes for margaritas and like bar kits and stuff. And specifically my brain was like, I don't know, should we do a mezcal? But I didn't say it out loud.
Oh wow!
And here we are.
See, I thought that it was understood that we would do a mezcal.
Well, you said Patron Silver. I assume
that's right. That's right. I did.
Mezcal.
It's not.
No,
you're right. I was going like, you know, for the 90s club scene.
Fair. Yeah, where they like would always put it on ice, right? I don't know if you guys, I always felt like that was some marketing thing with Patron or something where when they really first started to push it, they were like, no, y'all gotta like make people get it on ice, which probably just means you get more liquid out of less alcohol and people think they're drinking more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe that was just my own anecdotal experience that has nothing to do with
the rationale you had at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
You know, from the show, the rehearsal sense, like, you know,
never gonna let that die.
If you want to like give the impression that you're drinking more, you could use that solution. To
the people. I don't know what these emojis are, Twoger. I missed them.
Are they ice cubes?
Are they ice cubes?
I think they might be. I haven't
that's cool.
my phone, so I think they might be ice cubes.
I do want to take a moment just to acknowledge that DWOJR is at the Chesapeake Bay, which is a place that we spent a lot of time when we were like putting together our most recent album. So I just wanted to say, holla, I see you.
We've actually recorded
Chesapeake
some good
Bay
music on the Chesapeake Bay. Yeah.
I grew up in Maryland, so.
Oh, wow. Cool.
That's not the beach I thought you were going to say, DW.
Speaking of which, what area of the country are you yielding from?
Yes,
Rayonism?
Matt.
Yes. So I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado. It's like north of Denver, a little over an hour.
Okay. Yeah. I actually have a friend who was a roommate very briefly, but we became fast friends, and I believe she spent some time in Fort Collins.
Have you been there a long time?
That's my reference.
Nice. Yeah, I have been here since 2003, so I guess that's a while.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
See, well, I won't age myself. I won't declare my security questions.
That's way longer.
What that year means to me.
That's way longer than I've been someplace in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's rad. So, what's it like there?
You know, I guess I would. Anybody that lives here has in the recent past will probably identify with this. You kind of have to start with saying that it's changed a lot in the past
Okay.
4 or 5 years. Like there's been pretty serious growth, and like cost of living has exploded. I mean, and I know it has in a lot of places, but kind of relative to where this used to be, it's gotten kind of crazy, and it's, I mean, it's priced a lot of people out of being able to live in Fort Collins. Like, I don't really know anybody that I kind of came up with here that's still here, etc. So preface it with that, but it's a chill place. It's not the most diverse, but it's getting more so, all the time as things grow. But it's a pretty chill place to live. It's nice, I mean, it's Colorado. People want to be here for reasons that make sense. So
Are there any
Chill
like big
reasons.
corporation headquarters or anything there? Like any big
in Fort
draw
Collins,
for like employment? Yeah.
yeah, there's HP was here in a like major
Oh,
way for a
sweet.
long time. And they're still here in kind of a lesser capacity, but I think like their main head, or one of their main headquarters, used to be in Fort Collins. They still have a big building. There's an engineering, like a giant wood shit, I can't remember. There's a couple big engineering companies that have campuses that are like pretty massive in town. So a couple of those, and then Colorado State University would probably be the biggest employer.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah, so
college
CSU.
town.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I came to Fort Collins to go to CSU.
Oh, okay.
Way
There you
long
go.
ago. Yes.
Yeah, that must have been what my friend was there for
There's the
as
connection.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's funny. I was on watching one of these synth streams in the recent past, and the guy was, I'm trying to think, is he from Indonesia? He's from some place very, very far in that part of the country, or that part of the world. And he's got this CSU shirt on, Colorado State University shirt. And it's like, of course, you can still like, and then I'm talking to him about, CSU and the time he spent there. Anyway,
Oh.
connections abound, right?
Do they have a
That's
synth
crazy.
like a music technology program or something like
No,
that?
no, they don't. I think he was here for whatever his other gig was. The CSU is mostly like ag, veterinary kind of thing, and then the natural resource school is the other big one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sweet. We have a fondness for Colorado. I haven't spent a ton of time there, but we have been to Denver. We have driven through parts.
Big
I would
fan of
say.
the agriculture.
Not spent as much time there as we feel in our hearts called to, but hopefully that will change.
Yeah.
Well, come on down. We have the Colorado Modular Synth Society, as you
Yes.
guys know.
Love a transition. Yes.
Yes, and David Soto and Sign Mountain and other people that are super awesome and make cool things happen. So come hang. We'll do something
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, the WMD guys.
There's a lot of synth
Yeah.
love in
Which
Colorado.
unfortunately, I'm sure you guys maybe saw this or maybe not, but their WMD is closing, shuttering their doors, closing the company down.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You heard it here first,
Oh.
then. Anyone who's watching right now, that's news to us. Wow.
Oh no, so Alex is, the whole gang, they're just closing shop.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It just seems like, the same reasons that other people are having trouble, they're having trouble as well.
Yeah.
I know there's
Wow.
I know they have like a more manufacturing oriented side of the business. So, because they have like the side that's like, here's the WMD like products that we make that are WMD products, but then they were also manufacturing like several other big Eurorack, at least parts of their stuff, right?
And that's
So I don't
shutting
know
down as well, or
I don't know. I kind of think that's staying open. I think we would have heard if that part was shutting down too. But I honestly don't know. I haven't really, like, I know, Alex, but I'm not trying to like bug them about what exactly is going on.
Right,
I need
right,
the details,
yeah, no,
okay? I
no.
know you're going through a
Yeah.
lot, but can you just tell me personally what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like, I know you're having an existential crisis right now, but if you'd like to just like give me all the dirt, that'd be
Just
great.
give me the dirt,
Just
yeah,
me.
and I'll be out.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's good enough. I mean that sucks for them. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, and they kind of, you know, there's I feel like there's a couple things that they make that nobody else really,
Right.
you know, that performance mixer thing. It's not for me. I don't want one, but like nobody else really, that product doesn't have an equal anywhere. And there's a couple other, they're, I don't know, they're going to leave a hole. Somebody's going to have to kind of step in there, I guess. But
Oh yeah, our chat saying that it's a parts problem. They put out a statement that they can't get the parts to make modules. Yeah, so that's confirmed. Thank you, chat, for confirming. We love facts, but we don't like the situation for sure. But I mean, it's funny because we weren't even talking about this, but it still came up in our chat last week with Grant. Just the whole idea that
manufacturing is a tough business. I mean, I happen to work for a manufacturer as well, so you know we haven't. As far as I know of, there hasn't been any issue there but you know, it's really hit or miss, you know, like there's, it really just depends on the exact parts that you need, you know, literally
there doesn't seem to be any like rhyme or reason. I mean, at least not that I can divine. I'm not I'm not an engineer in any capacity whatsoever. So I don't know. But yeah, it's like this is here, but this is not. What's, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that there's a thread on lines about all of this. So that's
yeah, and it's definitely not like, you know, they are not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
There's several companies that have statements out there, at least, you know.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, just to throw it back to, is Fat Tire beer in Fort Collins?
Yes.
Okay.
They are.
Yeah, so New Belgium is a Fort Collins company. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Love it. That's cool.
Yeah, we're big fans of the Fat Tire.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to the brewery?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, they have it's, you know, grown a lot over the years, obviously, but their campus over there now has like they put a stage in, and they put some pretty decent sized concerts over there and have cool programming, like Andrew Bird, I don't know, like indie kind of weirdo Andrew Bird played over there earlier in the summer. I think he's the only person that's come to mind, but you know, yeah, it's a cool spot, and they, you know, they do cool events in Fort Collins. I've like, besides the what's the Fat Tire shoot, I'm totally spacing the name of it. The festival that they do that travels, what's it called?
I have no idea.
Wow, how am I not remembering this?
I don't know. Yeah,
you could whatever. Say anything, we would believe you.
Yeah, right. They do cool events, basically. So sweet.
New Belgium Tour de Fat.
Tour de Fat. Thank you. Wow. Yes,
thank
that's
you,
it. Tour de Fat.
Daru Khan for the
for joining. Yeah. So
Daniel just raided us. Okay. Pause for the raid. Daniel, thank you for raiding. I saw that you were streaming earlier, and I meant to connect with you about that and be like, we're getting ready. We're crossing over. But Daniel's our mod, so everybody give Daniel a follow. Woo! And thank you for the raid. We always appreciate being raided. It's always so fun.
Wow.
Isn't that a lot? It's a lot.
That's amazing.
So thank you, everyone. There's been a lot of good stuff going on in the chat here. Yes, confirmation that it's Tour de Fat. Reggie Watts headlined when it was in Chicago one year. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's like I guess sponsored by New Belgium, which is based in Fort Collins, but it's a national tour with like different artists.
Yeah, it's a touring event that's so cool. They did it in Fort Collins for a long time, and then they decided to take it on the road to a bunch of... It
sounds like a Kraftwerk thing, like Tour de Fat.
Yes.
Tour de Fat.
And it's a craft beer.
Yeah.
I wish it was Kraftwerk oriented. That would be amazing.
We did get to see them when they were in Chicago.
Was that really our first
on their 3D tour? Yeah. They don't tour much, and
they have been lately. But yes, we saw Kraftwerk for the first time in June in Chicago.
In June, nice. Yeah. I saw them. We had tickets. We had tickets to the Red Rock show. I think they had one this summer, but we had tickets to the one before COVID, and then I just didn't get tickets to this one, but did get to see the 3D tour when they were doing all the different albums on different days. So it was in LA at the Disney that crazy building.
Yes,
the
the
really
Disney
crazy
Hall,
looking,
yeah.
yeah. So it was in there, and they did Radioactivity, and
Yes.
it was amazing. It was like, I mean, as you guys experience, it's like
We got to
very,
see
very cool thing.
like the 3D, but it was like a sampler pack, right?
Which is, I mean, they
It's
kind of did a sampler
fun.
pack at the end. It's awesome.
Yeah, but I
mean,
would have preferred an album all the way through, and then maybe some hits at the end, because they did that like sort of, then the robots come out and it's like a whole other thing.
right.
But
Yeah.
it's so, it just, their live show is exactly the way I feel about their music. It's like no one else could do this, but it's also the simplest thing, but it's also genius. But the energy about it, it's everything. They define it.
I mean, I think you hit all the points. It's like, if you were to just kind of describe what it is, it's so simple. It's so simple, and you're like, okay, well, what's the subject matter of the lyrics? And it's like fucking like driving on a road, or a radio tower, or different like institutions. It's like very right, like totally but the energy, and like in the live, when you see it and the way it all comes off, and there's like this depth, and not, I don't know, it's kind of like German people, I guess, where you like think that they're this there's this they make BMWs, and there's all this precision with the engineering and stuff, but then like I find German people to be super warm, actually. And very like,
have you ever been to Germany?
Yes, I did. I have been.
For Superbooth?
No,
Okay.
I wish not. One day, hopefully.
That's our dream. That's on our bucket list.
I'd like to go next year.
As soon as it can happen, yeah. We've been saying that every year for a while, though.
I believe in you guys.
I believe in us for next year, honestly.
Yes.
Ooh, when is it again?
I want to make it a
April?
goal.
I think so.
July?
That sounds right.
July?
That sounds right, actually.
One of the months that has already happened?
Yes.
Berlin is so awesome. It's
Berlin
so worth.
Calling.
Yeah, man. It's
yeah,
so
that's
great.
a dream of like, if I could be conscious in all of the parallel lives that I'm living, I would love to be hopping into Berlin, whatever that timeline is.
Yes.
Maybe even back in time a little.
Yes.
I
Back
just feel
like just right when the wall fell, so you can like squat and be like some minimal techno artist.
Yes.
And
yeah, while also knocking Tilda Swinton off her bike, like.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna call out the chat here. So DWOJR, you're saying you saw the wall for real? I want to know if that's real. We have pretty much
Berlin is calling.
We've covered all the things in all these subversive ways, which I really appreciate.
What?
Oh.
Perform on the wall.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
The Hoff.
No, I love if you're also watching the chat, so that I don't have to like say it. It helps a lot. I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
West Berlin, eh? What
Okay.
what year? Like when did you go? Like that matters.
Yeah. We're throwing a lot of stuff out there. I want to get the full picture.
Oh, both West Berlin
Both
and
places
East
and the wall.
Berlin.
Okay.
Look at you, fancy.
Well,
crazy.
we're over here saying we've never been. I guess we're the only ones. So that just proves
Gotta go to Superbooth.
gotta go to Superbooth.
Oh shit! 84, 85. That does fucking matter. Look at that.
Why were you there at that point?
That's fascinating. We can definitely take a moment to go down this rabbit hole. Wait, I gotta Google something now.
That would be a time to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I do like how the setup at Superbooth now, where they've moved to that like almost like kind of summer camp kind of zone, where it's like partially inside, partially outside, as opposed to your typical trade show where it's like just like in a big exhibit hall or something like that. Like they have, everybody has their own little like cabin that you go visit, and you're walking around outside.
Shit. That's dope.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that was the last Superbooth, right? Are they
I,
going to do that again, do you think, or is it
Okay.
always like
We
that?
gotta find out
I,
when it is.
no, it's not. I don't know if it's always like that, but the thing that I watched some interview with the I forget what the name of the guy is that started it and runs it, the German dude, but he led me. I mean, I just remember afterwards thinking that he intended to do it at the same place. Like they liked the vibe that it created as opposed to just being in a,
Convention center, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that's
Like,
so cool.
Things that make noise. Like I've never been to. Have you guys ever been to Nam? Did you ever do
Yes.
I
Nam?
have, and I
Okay.
have a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah, that was
Did it drive you
very
like
forceful.
fucking bonkers, crazy?
Yes. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like being
see?
in Guitar Center for 24
It
hours.
was.
Yeah, that
Oh
I,
man.
I mean, it probably makes some people have like a panic attack or something. Like
I
that sounds.
did, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
couldn't. I had to like take it in small doses. I would take breaks. I'd be like, I'm going to have a cigarette and just go outside and not have a cigarette. Like, just
Yeah.
literally get like a break from the
Oh, yeah, it's
music. But I was
intense.
doing like kind of work stuff, like it was like
Guitar pedals, right?
Yeah, I just sort of had like a side job that brought me there a few times, and
Gotcha.
so just doing that kind of thing, and was at a booth the whole time, and it drove me like literally insane. And actually, that's one of the reasons we were actually thinking about going to NobCon, this
Oh,
current
yeah, I guess we could talk
NobCon,
about
because it's in
NobCon.
our backyard, like not too
Yeah,
far
sure.
from where we live. And we ultimately decided against it because of my NAMM experience. And I actually convinced Jacqueline to come one of the times that I was there, and she probably got enough of it.
I just did a brief walkthrough and was like, I'm good for the rest of my life.
On that
Yeah.
whole deal. Because like,
it's a vibe.
it is like, I don't know how you could do an indoor convention center event and not have it be obnoxious.
Yeah, for
With
real.
multiple people like making synth music. I don't know.
Yeah.
Boop boop boop. Isn't
Well,
there
and I
a
mean-
synth museum in Germany as well?
Ooh,
I mean, I'm sure there is.
there is. Where's that one that's like? There's a Look Mom No Computer video where he goes
Mhm.
to it.
It's in
like
May,
a giant
by the way.
warehouse.
Giant
Oh, okay.
warehouse.
Subaru's in May. Sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
May, that
Seems
makes
like a
sense.
really good time to be in Germany.
Up, we're running out of time. We're gonna have to
We're gonna
get
kicked
kicked
out.
off and rejoin the stream.
Okay, what was I looking up? A synth museum in Germany.
Germany.
Just in Germany in general.
That's where the talks.
Like something really official or like.
Yeah. So I don't remember if that one is in Germany. Maybe it is. It's somewhere in Europe. I don't remember.
Berlin.
Somebody
It's like
says-
a giant warehouse.
Somebody says that that's exactly what
They were thinking of the Look Mom No Computer video. That makes sense. Those get around. There is a museum of musical instruments in Berlin that probably has a lot of synth stuff.
I think this one is in like some other place that's not Germany, but I could be. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Last Synth Friends, we talked about Charles Cohen playing at the Schneidersluden.
That's true.
Right. I was listening. I was
Oh,
watching.
yeah.
So it keeps getting brought up. Like, it's like you can't really talk about synths without talking about Berlin a little bit. So we gotta go, man. There's too many
The
reasons.
Berlin School.
It's unclear what you may be referencing, DW, about a museum. Oh, no, that was Darukin. Sorry. So happy to dig into that more. Oh, you're right. You said it. Okay, sorry. I don't know why this chat is making me feel crazy today. The Look Mom No Computer video. Did we determine what that was? You said it was like a big warehouse somewhere in Germany.
I have not seen it. I've seen a lot of.
I need a link, people. I need a link.
I've seen a lot of Look Mum videos, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Did you guys see his? I pulled an organ, a church organ, out of a house and installed it in my museum shit that he's on now.
Oh.
Oh no, I have not
It
seen.
sounds like something I've seen, but I don't trust myself now.
He found a church organ that had been transplanted from a church into this lady's house. The lady dies. The church organ is just like taking up like the whole. It's crazy. Like so much of the house, right, is taken up by this church organ because the things are like 12 feet long and shit, right? They're like massive pipes and stuff. So he pulls the whole thing out of the house and installs it in the museum that he has, and like hooks it all up to MIDI and shit. So, you know, you can play it with MIDI and play it with like just a key step or stuff off the, you know, DAW or whatever. So like it's,
Wow.
I mean, he's crazy, obviously.
Yeah, he has the energy of 1,000 men. I don't understand
Well,
it.
I think it's just that he really tries to think of like David Copperfield scale tasks that he can do to impress the synth community. You know, like he's very
He's on
like
another level.
he's focused on the wow factor, if you will.
For sure.
Yeah, he's yeah, I like that he just does all this shit that seems to be kind of just driven by his own weird
Yes.
muse, basically. And
Yeah.
It is like very like there is no point to any of this, and yet it's the point of everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like all we
Right.
should be doing, but it's also complete nonsense.
Mhm.
And that's the point.
And I mean, I vibe with the like, here's this old stuff, or you know, something that's kind of esoteric and totally an anachronism, or totally like, you know, not relevant now in any way. Like all this electronic stuff and mechanical stuff that even just conceptually, it's like it's basically trash, but it's so well put together, and there's such like genius like that's been like, you know, put into so much of this stuff, and you look at it and you're like, this is fucking crazy. I don't know, like, could someone today put this together? I don't even really know. I mean, I guess they could, but you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, but
and
like
so
they
people
wouldn't want to. They wouldn't need to.
right,
There's, like,
you don't
a
need
point,
to.
Like that whole like retrofuturistic thing is that you have to be at that point in time to even have access to the stuff and the ideas and the energy that was there in that moment to create this crazy thing that you
Yeah.
think maybe one day will lead to like the next development in this thing called electronic music. Usually is.
I
what
mean,
we're pointing
one of
at.
my favorite videos of his is the one where he uses like a Mac Classic and he's running Cubase, like the very early version of Cubase on it to do his MIDI sequencing, and I was like, yeah, that used
Yeah.
to be the only way to make
That sounds
electronic
ridiculous
music.
now.
But
Yeah.
he like basically kicks the computer a couple times to make it work, kind of thing. You know,
Right?
like,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
but
his showmanship is also top tier.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's everything for his own show.
And the musicianship, like his music may not be your thing, but like it's really well put together. He has a solid understanding of theory. He's no slacker when it comes to like, you know, putting musical ideas together, which
Yeah,
I
right.
appreciate. Like
Yes.
like, you know, if you're a big YouTube star with the thing that's kind of a lot about music, and you're a slacker ass musician, that
Yeah.
kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is maybe a hot take, and like the person
love
that I
it.
mentioned earlier that shall not be named,
Yes.
you know,
yeah.
like if you're kind of making your whole thing music, like you kind of got to put up a little bit, I feel. And
I
I
agree.
think he definitely does, as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to tell when someone is aware of what will get people to watch what they're doing versus someone who is like taking things to that level because there's more to it that he's doing
Yes.
than just that.
yeah.
It's easy
Yeah.
usually to tell. So, yes,
Yeah,
I like
there
that
you
hot take. I agree. I need a
Word.
bell. I agree.
Yes.
Hot
Oh my
takes.
gosh. Yeah, you need like a synth bell, like some old, you know.
Let's
Yeah,
see it.
I'm sure.
Gus is gonna try to pull it off. No.
Boop
And
la
you
bell.
can't hear that anyway. No, it didn't sound anything like a bell. We'll work on it. I like the challenge. I'm trying to see what's going on.
It sounded
with
more
this.
like
Oh, okay.
Pac-Man, like sampled down a bunch of semitones.
That works. You know.
It was cool. It was still something that obviously we got some emotes across the screen for making that sound.
Check.
But a bell it was not. Okay, cool. So I am definitely interested in, because there's not a ton of people working with analog tape. When I see that you are, it makes me want to know more about like what your point of reference for that is, how you got into it, and like why.
when
like when we talk about things that are outdated and not necessary anymore.
The first time we saw you perform was when you played the same event as us.
Oh yeah, the Skies.
April Skies.
April Skies.
Yes.
And so we're both April Skies alums.
Yes, that's right.
It's an official thing.
And
we're creating the alumni network.
Yeah, I mean there'll be a documentary 20 years from now. Like,
yeah.
You know. And so when we saw you perform that, we were like blown away by the performance. It was a really good performance. Not sure if it's up anywhere, but if you can, check it out.
It's on my YouTube and stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Sweet.
I'm gonna grab the link for your YouTube because I got some links prepared.
But one of the things that intrigued us the most about it, I would say, was the fact that you were, a brethren of the tape. Like you involved tape
Love it.
in the performance, and so I don't know if you want to maybe expound a little bit on your relationship with tape, but as you know about us, like we're very intimate with it. Like I sleep with a reel at night.
I was gonna say that got weird, but we're going there.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love that.
Oh,
I sleep with a reel. Now I'm just imagining like a stuffed reel. Like it's like a plushie. Like anyway.
Gift ideas. My birthday already happened in August, but
But it was recent enough that you could still.
If anybody's looking for anything from me,
get away with it.
I'll take a stuffed.
I think this is the link. I think this
Tascam
is the YouTube link for
2-inch reel, please.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I'm showing that this is going to end in less than a minute.
Oh yeah. So you'll just jump in, jump back. It'll be seamless. No one will even know.
Okay, sweet. Countdown.
So same link, basically. And we can jump out now if you want. It'll
let me do that, and then because there's about 40 seconds left, and I'll be right back.
Sweet.
It's going to be the longest 40 seconds of our lives.
So what I don't understand is why I have to keep admitting him back into it's supposed to be automatic. All right. Just a brief moment to reconnect the wireless wires.
Brief moment.
What haven't we covered yet? Well, we're about to talk about tape, actually. Never mind. We have this all figured out.
Yeah, we just opened up the box, if you will.
We just opened up the box. The tape, Pandora's box.
Mm-hmm.
Looping is a question mark. Yes, we can talk about looping. All right, I think we're back.
Sweet.
Okay, so tape. Tell us everything.
Yes. So thank you for your kind words about that performance. That was fun. I guess just for reference in terms of what that was, the main tape thing was a loop, actually, a tape loop that was a Sun Ra thing from his Space is the Place movie. So, and I mean, I love Sun Ra, and I was kind of looking for, something to fill that part of the piece, and it's an outer space thing, so outer space automatically just makes me think of Sun Ra. And
Question,
grab that.
Do you own any original Sun Ra media?
I do, but not anything from his label, like nothing that he would have painted on or drew on.
Not the old stuff. Because I'm just looking, I just want to know humans that have that
Well,
stuff.
it's kind of we've actually asked a lot of people this question now because it
it's
tends to
esoteric.
come up.
It's very expensive. I mean, it's funny that you say that. So the guy that owned the comic book shop in Fort Collins for years and years and years, this old dude, long white hair, long white beard, he had a massive Sun Ra collection, like 300 pieces, 300 Sun Ra records. Like that's a significant retirement. I'm not sure if he's still around or like what happened there, but the monetary value that's represented there is quite significant, obviously. Anyway, I have some friends that are pretty heavy jazz collectors that have Sun Ra records, but I have never chosen to spend my money there, because it's kind of, it's like here you can spend like $500, $600, $700, $800 on this one thing that, is amazing, but like, you're not gonna, I don't know. For me, I don't do that kind of thing.
No, I think it makes more sense for someone like I feel like a lot of times when we're asking that question, we're kind of like, did you somehow get passed down?
Or
were you
pick it up
there?
at a pawn
You know,
shop
like,
one day.
magically
Or
it
somehow.
appeared. Like that's kind of my expectation is that
Yeah.
someone actually was either got it at a show, got it given to them, like inherited
Actually
it
bought it
almost,
at
or
the
like
time.
yeah.
You know, like
It
we
comes up.
we live in a small enough town that I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't just find one randomly, you know, just in a pawn shop or
Perhaps. But I
secondhand
feel
store.
like yeah, maybe in a place that
A lot of
isn't-
people would pass Sun Ra stuff up where I live. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah, that stuff
Yes.
still happens. I'm pretty into records. And
Sweet.
there's you can maybe kind of see it behind me. There's a
Oh
bunch of
yeah,
records out there.
definitely.
There's some of them, but yeah, I'm always like looking for that stuff in some weird thrift store someplace.
do you have any prized records?
Ooh, yeah, yeah, sure, of course. Let me think. Let's see.
On the spot,
pretty-
favorite record, pull it out.
No,
Get
no,
it right.
literally just like records that you would consider like, you know,
Records-
this would be one that may be worth something kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So you're going for some
Yeah,
value.
like monetary value.
Not sentimental.
monetary value. yeah. I mean, I've been into records for long enough that I bought some stuff legitimately like at the price that it was, and now things have gotten much more expensive. I'm also like a total digger, so like going into thrift stores and pulling out, I mean, to speak to your maybe that point a little bit, like one thing that I got into was like private press records. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but essentially like stuff that, you know, you're Joe Schmo in 1979 and you want to make a record and you got $1,000 or however much it cost, you know, and you go into some studio and record it and then pay a company essentially to press a bunch of records for you, and then you sold them at your concerts or at the restaurant gig that you had or like whatever, right? So I kind of, when I got in the game of looking for stuff, like it was really unlikely that I was ever going to find a bunch of Sun Ra or a bunch of Blue Note records like in the field, you know, at some thrift store. Obviously that absolutely does happen, but seemed unlikely. What was much more likely and still is much more likely is like finding these old private press records that people think are nothing because they don't look like anything, because the cover is usually not color, or a lot of times wouldn't be color because they didn't want to pay for color. So it'll be like either a monochrome thing, like one color, or black and white or grayscale or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bunch of weird outsider kind of music.
Always.
And some of those records are like quite valuable in terms of something that I paid like 50 cents for.
Perfect
Yes.
example for
Ooh.
us is we were, you know, randomly thrift store shopping here in Fort Wayne, and I would have to look at the record itself to know the exact name of it, but we basically found like a high school choir kind of chorus band doing a concert at like the biggest venue in Fort Wayne kind of thing, where they were playing some covers of some like popular
with like the orchestra,
like Age of Aquarius type
Yes,
shit.
it was like 68. So
Yeah,
it was like weird shit.
Like literally 1968, and like I went and looked it up on Discogs, and it's worth over $100.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and yeah,
shocked.
like I paid 50 cents for this.
Yeah, but it's cool, like weirdo music.
But I
you know
wouldn't
what
sell
I mean?
it
that I
because-
would like expect to see on some blogs that I like that
Yes.
post
Right.
about like these like old private press like
Yeah.
choral
the
band
choreographer.
records that are like kind of psychedelic and actually have a little bit of a like, you know, an arrangement to them or a tightness or something about the recording is like desirable. Like maybe it's got some really cool moments that you could sample, you know, or something about
Right.
it. So other people
Yeah.
have sampled it, kind of thing.
Some
maybe
interesting
Which
percussion
can-
moments.
Can drive the value of things.
Yes.
drive the value extremely
Sample.
high depending on who
Yeah.
sampled it, right?
Yeah, we were shocked to see that because I think we were just like, this is actually good.
Right,
That's
So
awesome.
then we had to look it up.
right.
I kind of love that, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, most of our record collection are those types of
Right.
records. Jacqueline actually has a really good eye for that stuff. I've grown to appreciate.
I've been
over
doing
the
it since I
years.
was like the youngest you could be. So
That's where it's at.
It's in
And
my blood.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people still skip over that stuff. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Like I think it's gold. I'm happy that people aren't interested.
Yeah,
Please.
Makes it really easy to find.
Yes.
I mean, even in this day of like when, I don't know, I go to like an antique mall or something and there'll be a couple in front of me that have a bunch of tattoos and like, you know, $300 pair of jeans on, and they're buying shopping carts full of antique shit at full price that they're then going to go put on an Instagram account for probably like 3 or 4 times what they're paying for it. And they're already paying like what to me is the maximum amount you would ever pay for like some half their game. Because I literally like recently I'm standing behind these people and they're like, well, this isn't complete and this isn't complete and this is broken, blah, 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 blah. And they spend like hundreds of dollars. I'm like, I know y'all aren't like doing the decor for some restaurant or some bullshit. This is like,
this is gonna go on Instagram.
Put this on your Instagram account and make a bunch of money doing it. And I'm just like, ah. Anyway, kind of is.
I know what you mean. I feel exactly the same way about the pricing of things. Like because of that, it's driven the prices up. Like I don't know. We've been out here digging for way before there was Instagram. So.
No, I guess that's just like me being an old man and
I know, right? What are you gonna do?
Plus, like I feel like the place that we live is just that just isn't happening. You know what I mean? Like we're ahead of that curve. I think here.
It hasn't hit us yet. Is what
Yeah. I'm not seeing people having the wherewithal to be thinking of the idea to buy shopping carts of anything. You know, like right. It's just not. I don't see that here. I know exactly what you're talking about. And when we lived in, for example, Los Angeles, I saw a lot of that.
Yeah, it's a full-time job for some people. Right,
but I do not see that here. You know, but it's just because, like, you know, we live in a town where, like, it feels like 1993. Like
the mall is still thriving.
Out on the streets.
Wow,
you know? Yeah, it's really set back in time where we live. So, you know, I think it's kind of unique.
All right, well.
Yeah, Gage.
Opportunity.
There you go.
Yeah, we could go get some shopping carts.
Start an Instagram account with.
I'd have to get a few tattoos because I don't have any yet. But
yeah, well, fair.
That's so funny.
Do you have any tattoos?
I do not. I've always wanted to get tattoos, but I do not have any.
There is not a single tattoo on this live stream right now.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is weird. I have tattoo ideas and
so many.
You know, things.
I almost
like
did it so many times.
Yeah. I've never, I don't know, the wanting to spend the money part.
I was going to say, we put all our money in synths and shit. And so you're kind of like, right. I still have like 10 things I need on my list. I'm not going to shift that over to tattoo money.
Yeah, like I haven't bought a clothing item since like 2007.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God, cables are a lot more expensive than you think. So
even making them yourself.
Yeah,
even making them yourself.
I mean, and that's what we do.
It's so true.
And, yeah, it's like try to find some decent like connectors.
Oof. Yeah, talk about the problems.
I got lucky recently and had a Craigslist post where the woman was like liquidating her father's like electronics, you know, whatever, like
Score.
And I mean got like 200 feet of canary
oh wow,
like mic cable for like $20 or something like that.
That's my brand. I like canary. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, canary. Sorry.
Well, I don't know if even that's the right way to pronounce it. That's what
I'm sure.
That's what I've called it. But yeah, I've really liked. That's like my favorite brand of cable. I think they make great cable. Mogami is overrated in my opinion. Like,
I mean, like, what's the? I feel maybe I'm not entirely correct here, but like, if there's like the Mogami thing that's like this much more expensive, and then there's like the Canary thing. It's like, is it really?
We're talking about cable here. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, cables in general, like, you know, Monster Cable are talk about David Copperfield. Like,
Yeah, right.
they're magicians, man. Like making that kind of money off cable.
Yeah, no shit.
That's a good point. That's really funny. I mean, it's all about, cornering the market and all those kinds of things. Daniel has an interesting idea about if tattoos had copper in them and they could be, like in part of this
Whoa.
whole
Part of the synth.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Wow, conductive. You'd have to make copper inside of you would probably be problematic.
Yeah, I would think that it would need to be 24 karat or better gold.
Right. But some sort of conductive. I wonder if there would be things like other materials besides metal that would be conductive that you could put in tattoo ink.
Ooh.
That wouldn't be like, because metal seems toxic to like actually.
Metal seems like it's not the road we want to go down. I think we've already
But there are other.
enough with that.
Yeah,
but you're right. I
materials.
mean, yeah. Ooh, that's such a good point.
All right, I like
see
it.
the future. We're just gonna leave it out there.
I just like the concept of, basically like putting like a.
We're so close to it.
We're
almost
like a
there.
Thunderbird-esque, like
Yes.
Bukla style, like
Exactly.
tattoo, and like it's like a power glove kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
For connecting to your
synth.
synth.
The power glove.
You have like a couple of leads, like soldered off of your arm. It's like you got banana cables.
So speaking of that, do you guys know the guy? I think he's French, maybe, but that has the like prosthetic arm and the attachment that he hooks up to his modular.
I have seen this.
Yes.
Oh, so digging so deep in my brain for that. But yes.
I asked David the other day for his, I've been trying to remember who this person is. I follow him on Instagram somewhere, but
I think
so he
might know. Someone in the chat might know, I think.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
We're all on the same wavelength right now.
And like he has like different attachments for it and stuff. It's literally like wired into the synthesizer. It's the most, anyway. You guys know. Crazy.
So right? It's true. It's already happening.
That's super.
All the future.
It's already.
I mean, it's kind of something that's like outside of musical things that's cool about the synth and all the whole community is like it encompasses these people that are that smart actually, like that are actually on the level where they're pushing the envelope to the point of doing really interesting things, whether it's with like machine learning, AI stuff. Like there's somebody that on Modular World that Jono had on there that was like, his whole performance is like, he's like talking to the AI with a synthesizer, and it's just, you're just like, I don't understand any of what's happening basically, but like, that stuff or this shit with the more physical interaction between things and like, MIDI controllers on your fingers that do things in space and 3D and all this stuff. And I mean, like, I don't really have a lot of interest in making music that way personally, but it's like so fascinating and so cool. And I mean, makes you think about what you do maybe in a different way too, which is cool.
I do think that's like the through line. I feel like we're in this like umbrella of, I guess you would say, a community of people interested in electronic music that also leads to all these other threads. So I like being like adjacent to it, and like you said, getting inspired from the idea of someone having these ideas and being able to actually implement them. It just like blows my mind. It expands my mind. And I think the origins of electronic music feel that way for me. I think I just like hanging out in that space with those dead people mostly that were conjuring these ideas out of nothing.
Right. And I mean, that's sort of like what we discovered through a lot of our research when we did a lot of our early podcast episodes and, just kind of reviewing the history of tape music, is that like, just to even ante up and be in the game,
you got to be an institution.
You're a physicist, or
a physicist working at
you've got a high level degree. You've got a job that you've actually vied for against many people, and you're brilliant. If you're doing tape music in like the early 40s or
Sure.
or even earlier. you're inventing technology.
Well, you were like probably laughed off, the world stage.
Like all the early tape musicians were like James Camerons, like
but cooler.
Oh
but
my
cooler,
God,
but a lot
way
cooler. Yeah.
I can't believe that Avatar. There's another Avatar coming out this year.
Not as memeable.
Oh yeah, the mushroom guy. I love the
not.
mushroom guy.
Oh yeah, we're big fans of the mushroom guy.
But Bertois Meyer, I'm probably saying that horribly wrong, works at the research center. Germany. Germany is coming up again. He's also a DJ and electronic music enthusiast. Thank you, Daniel.
All right, well there you go.
We have it. All the facts.
Man, I vibe with the same thing what you're talking about with early electronic music and the depth. The depth there for sure.
The imagination and like the gall.
Yeah, and the doing something out of nothing, for real. And like really the whole idea of like okay, so I want to get to this way over here. I have a bank of sine waves and 15 tape machines and like some VCAs basically, I don't know, right? And you're like, I'm gonna cut up this and
use
blah, blah,
math
blah, and like
to like make the tape line up.
I'm gonna engineer a symphony out of this that's actually pitch accurate.
Yeah.
Oh
like
God.
What?
Yeah.
The one thing I'm jealous of though, when it comes to those folks, is the sheer access to well-manufactured, well-maintained, and fairly new
fresh tape
machines.
Yeah, for real.
That's a good point.
Like that aspect of it, I'm like so jealous of the Radiophonic Workshop and their tape machines.
Yeah, for real. Like that bank of tape machines.
That's a big deal. That's all you had. But let's just talk about those tape machines for a minute.
And all well calibrated enough.
Well calibrated, perfect, working in such sync that you could literally just like casually hit the play buttons at the same time and they're going to be on.
Which is just like crazy.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
That's a pretty awesome tool to have access to, and so I am a bit jealous of that. But there, to think that what they were doing with it wasn't pure genius, would be insane for me, so like I definitely recognize the genius involved with the music that was created with it, and the personnel involved, like the John Bakers and
they were still just composers
and the Delia Derbyshires and everybody that was involved with that whole early Radiophonic Workshop scene. They were obviously deserved their jobs, but I am a little bit jealous of those tape machines.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel you. I have my Tascam. It's the 3340, which you guys have the 3440.
30, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So speaking of tape machines needing maintenance, gotta get this one in. You know how that goes.
Do you have a person in the greater Fort?
There's
area?
one. There's one in like the Denver area that'll.
Yeah.
It's more of like a professional tape kind of. I think most of the machines they work on are bigger than this, but
like
but they'll work
vibes.
on but they'll work on this one. So
I see what you mean.
I don't know if you guys look at Craigslist and stuff, but I get so tempted by these like tape machines that come up, because there is this level, there's the $20,000 24 check machines, but then there's like so many machines that are $2 or $3 grand or less that are like really cool, crazy pieces of technology that, I'm not buying, obviously. It's not in my
we can only have so many.
Yeah, but damn, I get tempted because
although there are those guys, there's that reel-to-reel enthusiast Facebook group where people just show they have like their wall of machines.
Dude, the guys that are the hi-fi weirdos that are into reel-to-reel stuff, that is like the most rarefied end of the hi-fi market. Like that stuff gets so crazy expensive. There's no other media that costs like $300 for one thing. There's no record that costs that much new. There's no MoFi
Yes, that's a good
reissue of
point.
anything. There's only high-end tape that you then put through some crazy machine that has the preamp card ripped out and some new preamp put in. You guys, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But like those people just get so crazy.
It's super fun though. I just want to shout out WMRX for the follow. Thank you for joining the stream. That took over the screen.
WMRX.
I love this question that we have in the chat. Has anyone ever controlled tape loop transport through MIDI or CV clock, like tape speed or on off? Great question. Thank you. We appreciate all tape related questions. I was just gonna say,
I got one.
We already have the answer to that on hand.
Not MIDI. I mean, sure, I could control this via MIDI, but it's just got like a CV input for speed.
There, that's literally it right there.
King Repeater by Repeater Club. They actually sent us one of these. They were really kind and sent us one of these when we played our last show in Detroit.
Did you request that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
So
that's your favorite color.
Yeah, they gave me like the Augustus Green edition, and super thankful for that. Definitely gonna do like a
we need to make a video and shout them out.
Video showing it off, but it does have a CV input, and because I have a sequencer that it does both MIDI and CV, I technically could control this via MIDI, by way of CV conversion at least.
CV though, man, electricity all the way.
Mm-hmm. But no MIDI. No, it doesn't have like MIDI, the MIDI converter built into it or anything like that.
You guys maybe have that ability somewhere in the studio with something MIDI to CV.
Yeah. I was saying we definitely do.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, that's nifty. That's funny that you just have.
I know.
They ask a question and you're like, oh, it's this thing right here.
Almost like it was a plant.
Awesome.
It was a plant question. No, it really wasn't. That's awesome.
I've been looking for an opportunity to shout that Repeater Club thing.
Yeah, because we got it at the show, and so of course we were like wrapped up in all of that. And ever since we've been back from that whole experience, we've been trying to get back into everything we've been doing. So we actually haven't had as much time where we're just like in the studio and like nothing matters and we're just experimenting. So that's a good reminder that we need to make time for that.
I would love to see like y'all should take a picture of that and put it on your Instagram or something. Just because I'd love to see more about that. Looks cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can.
I was gonna do a more focused video on it where it's
boom.
Yeah. Done. Inspo that we needed.
I have one of the Marantz PMD. What is it?
Oh yeah.
One of the, I forget which one it is,
like
but
220 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, people mod those obviously to have that sort of capability. And I've thought about sending it to one of those people that does that, but it's kind of a cool thing that I don't know if I want to have somebody put holes in and stuff. Just
Right.
Itself, like it's a cool, I use it as a delay basically most of the time. And because it has the tape monitor ability or whatever.
Yes.
So
I use my Reeboks as a tape delay a lot.
that that is a tape machine. That is a tape machine.
That was also like if we were looking at the scale of like how can we get all the money over here so that we can get $3.
That's awesome though.
That was a project that had to happen because it's just gonna come up one day. And you need to be prepared, for the thing that you're like, this piece of gear that needs to be refurbished. It needs to be in a state that I'm going to be ready to grab it. Because they don't, it's not like every day you find your machine that you're going to snatch up.
There was one that came up in Denver where there was like one channel was down and the price on it was beyond reasonable. It was seriously like $300 or something. Yeah, it was really crazy. And I was like, no, I don't have $300 and I have way too many tape machines. I cannot buy another tape machine. And then an hour later, I was like, wait a second, that's a ridiculous deal. I think I need to email this guy. And of course, I emailed him and he's like, yeah, just sold it. Actually, just sold it. I'm like, of course you did, because who the fuck would not buy that immediately? You know?
Yeah, it's a pretty good price, even if it was in need of refurbishment.
I mean, you could spend the same amount of money that you spent on buying it, refurbishing it, and would still be in for only a third of the value
Yeah,
of it.
that's a really good point. Damn. Ooh,
Anyway.
those are tough calls.
What
Those
model
are really
was
tough
it? Was
calls.
it an A77 or B77?
I think it was a B77.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
It was
a really good deal on a B77.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, we all have these
That's
stories
cool.
though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, we don't have to talk about the wave that got away. You know.
Oh no! Oh no, that sounds bad.
I'm a
That sounds-
big surfing fan, professional surfing, so I bring a lot of those references in
Okay.
randomly.
Expect it.
Yeah.
Here, I thought you meant the PPG wave that you like.
No. For me, that's literally like I will just randomly morph into like
To
being a
surf
surf
man.
commentator. But
I like it.
yeah, like that is like, you know, it's not something you should really think about, you know. Like
Don't
it's
overthink
going to
it.
happen. There's always going to be that piece of gear that you just don't have money for, that, you know, you see
That
on
was the-
Reverb
yeah.
that you're already watching for whatever reason you don't know. And
Yeah.
you know, it pops up and you're like, oh, surprise, I don't have the money for this. But I'm really sad to see that someone is selling it for a price I can't afford.
Those are always the tough moments.
You're like, yeah. That's funny. I mean, I try to have a philosophy of like, if I see something, like if we're talking like online, you know, whatever, like, and my instinct in the moment is like, go for it right now, then I'll go for it if everything else is equal.
Mhm.
But then like I'll wait, and I don't know, it's just like gotta like kind of trust my instinct or whatever. And it's like, and if I didn't feel it and I didn't do it, then I just have to let it go.
You have to let it go. Exactly.
Like you know, because whatever. So
Yeah, we have to build these rules for ourselves, otherwise we would lose our minds.
you get silly. Yeah.
See, I have a situation where I have to sleep on it.
Yeah. Oh, I try to do that though, for sure. Like you wait, and then when you come back to it, you feel it, then you're like, yes.
Mm-hmm. If it's like haunting me, like, you know, like it's just
That's true.
constantly pinging me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like,
You're
hey,
dreaming
there
about
might
it.
be something to this. You know, I don't want to discount this. You know, I don't want to discredit this feeling that I have that's like coming like kind of like a hunger pain. You know, like if I ignored those, I would die.
For sure.
Oh wow.
You know, so you know, but if it's one of those things where I'm just like, hey, and then it sort of dies off, I'm getting better at telling whether it's something I really need to jump on, or whether it's something it's like, oh, I just wanted that because it looked
Right.
shiny and new and like a toy to me in the moment.
Right. You know, of course, if money were no object in all of these things, then yes, I would take it.
I would
Yes,
have a
every
lot
time.
more crap everywhere.
But you do have to, yeah, you have to know when to just let it go. Like, as Daniel's saying over here, like, you have to trust that the right person ended up with it.
Yes.
I definitely feel that.
Exactly.
And sometimes that's me or you, and sometimes
Sometimes it's still someone you know.
Sometimes it's one of your fans. Yeah, like we have this thing where like we believe that one of our fans like has bought a few of our pieces of gear after we've sold them, and like
may or may not have been intentional, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
like,
It's
damn
a fun
it,
world to
this person has our.
be swapping off
It's almost
gear.
like a pawn shop. I feel like I could like.
Oh no.
I feel like I could like talk to them and be like, "Hey, I really miss the Delta 50. Like, can I
Take a photo for me.
Can I buy that back from you
Oh,
for
that's so
like the
funny.
same price I sold it for?"
Yeah, right.
So funny.
You never know. You never know.
That is
My
pretty
version
true.
of that
You
is
never
like,
do know.
there's a guy in town that I will see, like, I'll do these like online estate auctions. This is getting in the weeds
Oh, I
about
love
buying
it.
old dead people's shit at this point. But like over COVID, I wasn't going out to thrift stores or anything like that.
Right.
Like I kind of
Same.
stopped going to all that stuff. So, you're like, what else is there? And oh, okay, there's online estate sale auctions. So like, it's basically like it's going to an estate sale, but it's
You're
just
a
all
genius.
online.
I didn't think of that.
Oh, dude, I actually have made some serious scores
Oh my God.
via that.
I can't
But
believe I didn't know about this.
oh, you got to go for it. There's all kinds of websites and shit like that. Anyway, but there's this guy in town that I know who's like a friend. We're not super close or anything, but I've seen like this stuff, and I've been going back and forth with somebody over like a like electronic tambura box thing or some weird esoteric stuff like that. I'm like going back and forth, and I just let it go. And the other person wins the auction, and then I'll go and like see it come up on his Reverb shop. And I'm like, I know now. I know my nemesis. I know who it is. I have not talked to him about this yet.
love it.
I don't really know how to breach the subject. Like,
No, I wouldn't try. Like,
No, it's more fun to leave it like this.
I agree.
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
you should make.
Oh,
I
no.
think it would
Don't
be
listen to him,
funnier
whatever he says.
to make like your own like like sort of offshoot of your Instagram where it's like about this nemesis that you have and you're like filming. You're like, here he is again. This time selling a collection of
Oh my
slightly
God.
used 8-track tapes
That's-
that I
Oh my
plan to reuse as tape loops.
I would follow that. I would follow it.
That's my kind of like troll account, basically.
That's exactly my kind of troll account.
Yeah.
No one's really getting hurt, but it's super juicy. Only
Yes,
to me.
exactly.
Absolutely. I'm here for that. But
Oh my
again,
gosh, that's
we didn't say to do that, but if you do that, we'll follow it.
Noted. Yes, perfect. Oh my god.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I want to make sure we get in because our timer's running down, a few minutes left here. Any questions that I missed, or make sure we drop all the links, or if you have any new music you want to throw out or videos or anything you're working on.
Sure, let's see. Yeah, I'm working on trying to put out a record by the end of the year. We'll see.
Ooh,
You guys
that's
know
exciting.
how that goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I say that all the time.
But kind of I've like I'm sure you guys feel this, but in the environment that we're in, it's like everybody there's so much noise, right? And it's like, are you a musician? Everybody's a musician. Here's like me putting out like there's so much content that gets created, and it's like you have people that just post every single day in their patch and blah 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 blah, and like finding the value in that on the continuum of like that versus you just release a record and that's what your output is, and like putting all the energy and all the everything into that versus, and I'm sure you guys feel this, and I feel like I've seen you talk about it actually
So deeply, yes.
but so that is like an eternal struggle that I'm speaking to this year and trying to negotiate with. But so that's coming. My band Head for the Hills, which we haven't talked about really, but like that's like my day job basically.
That's so cool.
How long have you been working with them?
I'm gonna drop
Since
that link.
2004.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's quite a long time to be in the same band, and you've always played upright bass, you said, or?
Yep, and electric, a little bit of electric too.
And a little electric bass. Did you go to school for bass performance?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So I
grew up like taking private lessons.
You took private lessons. Okay. I did as well, by the way. I'm also a bass player from
I forgot about that.
the early beginnings. Yeah,
Jesus.
like I actually
love
took
that.
private lessons and played in orchestra and stuff, and definitely like it was funny because like as I got older, I ended up like transitioning into a Catholic school. And because of the size of the schools, they would have smaller and smaller bands. Like as I got older, like I would end up being in like these jazz improv groups and stuff just because like the school didn't really have a music program.
Sure.
And that's what happens when
bass
your
player.
school doesn't have a music program. You call it like avant-garde jazz or some shit, and like it's like a thing that's like taught only after school, no funding, and so yeah, like that was kind of my experience growing up with music is playing bass, and like I eventually got into rock bands and stuff, but like so that's something we have in common actually.
Well, that's
Ooh,
awesome. I love that.
that's very cool. So Head for the Hills is your band that you play bass in. That I
Yes.
just dropped the link in the chat for everybody. Definitely check that out. A lot of music there. And then the link above that is Rayonism Bandcamp, which is going to be the synth stuff. So
Yes.
everybody
Awesome.
take your pick. Dig in.
Sweet. Thank you. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all having me on and chatting and connecting and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool because even though we're like, we know each other from online, which means like we have not had an interaction face to face real time. And even though this is still online, it still feels more like, oh, okay, yeah, we know each other now. We're friends.
Now that you've done this, would you consider us friends?
Yes.
Yay.
Same.
Awesome. I was gonna ask. Perfect. Okay, great. That's what I mean. I was hoping, so.
Because I don't expect the answer to always be yes.
For sure. Well, you don't always vibe with people, and that's
and so
that's okay.
I'm gonna ask at the end. I'm gonna ask you to be honest. I'm gonna say, are we friends? And I believe that your answer
you gotta be
is
honest. So I just want to say,
genuine,
congratulations to everyone. We did it. We are friends.
Woo!
So we do have one final question right before in this last minute. Darukin wants to know if your name is inspired by the Brian Eno track.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that somebody actually caught on to that. That is crazy. Wow.
Woohoo!
Big kudos to that person. Yeah, I'm like pretty obsessed with Brian Eno. He's probably like my favorite of all time. And I was trying to find a name and was keyed into that and then looked backwards in terms of where that comes from. And it's like a kind of it's a Soviet art movement that has to do with light, like rays of light, basically. So anyway, that's super awesome. I love that.
Wow, I'm so excited that came up at the very, very, very end. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna let it kick us off, and we will be talking more on the internet. Thank you.
Woo.
Peace.
Cheers.
Where did it go? Where'd I go? Okay. Whew! Another Synth Friends engagement for the books. I hate that Zoom kicks us off, but we're gonna try to maybe upgrade that if we can. If y'all want to throw us some tips so we can upgrade the Zoom so we don't have to get kicked off of our own hangs, feel free. We
just
appreciate
specify
it.
not for tape with your tip.
No, for tape, no. I think that's the link for tips.
Otherwise, it's going straight
it's
to
tip.
tape. No, we want tape money. We want tape money too.
We need tape money too.
I take that back. Yeah.
But basically, just the idea that this was not something we expected to do, like weekly, but now that's what's happening, and we're super stoked about it, and it's super fun. And so, if you all want us to keep doing it, like upgrading our Zoom would be a very cool thing to add to the list, to be able to be a little bit more relaxed with these hangs. And thank you all so much for the engaging chat and all the fun tape and synth questions. I hope we got to everything, but definitely drop us a line if you have any follow-up questions or thoughts, or if there's anyone you want us to be synth friends with that you want us to have on. We'll definitely take your suggestions and reach out to people, because that's what this is all about, just trying to bridge that divide. So thank you again, Daniel, for the raid and our new followers. This is September, which means you get a discount on your subscription. So if you want to throw us a sub, you'll get ad-free experiences and get to hang with us in the Discord. So thank you all for being here. Let's see. Shall we send you out to... Sid Heresy is streaming right now. So let's give him a raid, a new friend of ours that we've come to know through the synth community here on Twitch. That is super exciting for us to have found and to be a part of. So that's where we will head.
Synth Heresy.
because it's always fun to keep supporting each other, even in the little ways that we all see that you are doing for us as well. So thank you again for all your support and for hanging out. And
thanks so much. I had a blast. I hope you all had a blast.
Being cool to hang out with. He streams synth mods and builds. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go hang out with him right now. Thanks to Rukin for hanging out with us.
Synths.
This was super fun. We'll be back on Saturday for movie night. So if you're in our Discord, you get to vote on what movie we're going to watch on Saturday. So definitely jump in there.
Who's winning right now?
Battle in Outer Space, I believe, is winning. So
that is a dubbed film. Just keep that in mind. If you don't like dubbed films, you better vote.
All right, we'll see you on Saturday, and enjoy this raid.